Nintendo has a lot of big achievements over the course of their journey as a gaming company. Iconic consoles, legendary games, and countless memorable characters. Now Nintendo gets another very impressive achievement under their belts, and that's pricing their games at $80. Of course, this news comes with the pricing of the new Switch 2. Nintendo does a lot of outlandish stuff, but I think they've really outdone themselves this time. Even with the launching of a new system and many new great games on the way, is it justified? Nintendo has stated that the price of their games will fluctuate, varying on development efforts and everything of the sort, but realistically, the $80 price is primarily going to be for their AAA titles like Mario and Zelda, like we've seen so far. Despite the big outrage, there are only 2 games for the Switch 2 that are currently $80, which are Mario Kart World and Legends of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. There are other games listed for $80, but those are games with additional content, like Mario Party Jamboree that comes with the Jamboree TV package. That's not to say that there won't be other games whose base value starts at $80 in the future. To see this kind of price hike out of Nintendo is pretty absurd, even for them, but at the same time, they've never been the company to follow traditional gaming norms. While the Switch 1 games were consistently $60, that was the problem in and of itself. Nintendo almost never put their first-party games on sale. Sure, you could find Barbie's Dreamhouse Adventure for $10 off, but good luck finding any of their major titles on sale outside of, say, Black Friday, and even then, it's not that great. Nintendo's smart though. They know consumers will pay the price, even if we're huffing and puffing while we swipe our credit cards. We did see one Switch game at $70, which was Tears of the Kingdom, and I was surprised that was the only one. I remember being shocked that it was more expensive than all their other titles, but at the same time, all the other AAA games from its competitors are regularly $70, so in hindsight, it really wasn't that bad. However, I think the $80 price is a bridge too far. But of course, everyone has their line. Die-hard fans might not have a problem spending that money, but I think for a lot of people, the increased price will be too much to justify on top of Nintendo's regular antics like no sales. Personally, for myself, I do plan on buying the Switch 2, but I don't know if Mario Kart and Tears of the Kingdom are enough for me to spend that $80. That's not to say I won't spend that much money on another game though. For example, if the new Pokemon was to cost that much, there's a good chance I would buy it, because I'm that much of a fan. Speaking of Pokemon, if Nintendo is going to be charging this much, there can't be any more nonsense like there was with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. The performance and quality of the game was not good, and pretty inexcusable from such a major company and from one of their biggest cash cow franchises that is Pokemon. However, what's done is done and it's in the past, and fingers crossed they learned their lesson from their blunder. But it's gotta end there. If Nintendo wants to charge insane amounts for games, the games better be damn good. We all have standards for how we think games should be based on for their price. It could be time played, or creativity and originality of the title, so it's hard to really say what would be worth for each individual person. Regardless of that standard though, the Switch 2 games need to be top quality if they want to pursue this path. Part of me wonders if this is just a litmus test for what big companies can get away with. PlayStation and Xbox have had their average game price at $70 for years, and sales were still relatively steady with this $10 hike from the previous gen. While I do think $70 would be a fair price for Switch 2 games, $80 is just a step too far no matter what the game would be. At the same price, this just shows how much hubris these companies have, while games like Expedition 33 and Baldur's Gate 3 were $50 and $60 respectively. Games like these repeatedly prove that you can make a solid-ass game that is very good and high quality. Yes, with bigger companies come more cost and other factors that drive the cost up, but there will need to be a huge jump in quality of games if they want $80 to be the new standard for game prices. At the end of the day, however, it all comes down to the consumer and what they think is worth it. Personally, while I wouldn't pay $80 for Mario Kart World, there might be a game in the future that I would pay that much money for. I just don't know. Again, $80 is not the new standard price for their games, but I do think it's very unfortunate to see that Nintendo is crossing that price threshold because I think it's very damaging to the gaming industry. Let me know what you think of the new Switch 2 prices below, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.